They always say libraries are safe havens, but I stopped believing that after last Tuesday. I'd been working late, shelving books in the old city archives, when I first noticed the whispers, barely audible, like breath against my ear. I shrugged them off as exhaustion, until I realized the stacks themselves seemed to pulse in the corner of my vision, shifting ever so slightly when I wasn't looking. I promised myself I'd leave early the next night, but curiosity kept me rooted, half terrified and half entranced. The second night, the air grew colder with every passing hour, and the whispers grew bolder, almost forming words. My hands shook as I reshelved a battered volume, only to find the same book reappearing further down the aisle moments later. By midnight, the books weren't just moving, they were rearranging themselves, their spines lining to spell out fragmented warnings. I snapped photos, but my phone would only show static or smudged shapes in the frame. That's when I realized whatever was happening, it didn't want to be witnessed. On the third night, I arrived determined to catch the phenomenon on video. The library felt predatory, every shadow longer than it should be. This time, I watched as the books slid across the floor, spelling out a final message: "You're next in the story." My breath caught. The overhead lights flickered violently, plunging the stacks into darkness as the sound of fluttering pages filled the air, growing louder and louder, like wings beating in a cage. I tried to run, but the path to the exit twisted impossibly, the shelves closing in like jaws. The books hurled themselves open, and their pages turned with a frantic life of their own, brushing against my skin, whispering my name. Something cold wrapped around my ankle. I looked down and saw words crawling up my leg, ink seeping into my veins. The last thing I remember was the sickening realization that I wasn't just reading a story, I was being written into one, trapped between the pages as the library claimed me for its collection.